Hey everybody, in this video we're going to look over Cleanspark, what recently happened with earnings, what's going on today, and my thoughts on when they're going to reach profitability, because I do believe it's right around the corner. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, Cleanspark did report earnings yesterday. We're going to look over some of that. The 16 exahash target by year end is fully funded and is still expected. And we're also going to go over what they're expecting next quarter and why I think they gave that estimate that they did. So let's get on with this video. If you like these, hit the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, check out the links down below. Consider joining my membership for $2 a month if you want to support me, and let's take a look at Clsk. Alright, so I will leave the link down below so you can access all this stuff I'm going over, but yesterday they did report earnings, and today it seems like it's actually really reacting from it. Up 19% as of this upload, and we're going to go over the chart in a bit here. But first off, let's talk about this. They achieved record revenue for the quarter of $45 million. And next quarter, they're expecting right around 58 million. And in a second, I'll tell you why I think this is kind of important here. But they reported a net loss of 14 million. They are tightening up on their loss. And I do think profitability is very close. An adjusted EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization of 13.3 million. They have current cash and Bitcoin holdings of 125 million. With their 16 exahash, as I said, now fully funded. And of course they are at a 9 exahash, which is triple the hash rate year over year. That is massive exahash growth. Now let's look at what the CEO, Zach Bradford, says. We have fully funded our growth to 16 exahash per second, including miners, facilities, other infrastructure, on top of a record-breaking quarter in terms of growth and revenue. We now operate at over 9 exahash per second of efficient computing power at some of the industry's best all-in electric rates. That growth is translating to record-setting revenue. We have over $90 million in cash and almost 1,200 Bitcoin on our balance sheet as of today. And the CFO says creating certainty is our important part of our strategy. And today we have more than sufficient capital to fund our remaining contractual payments on miners and construction to achieve our 16 exahash goal. From my perspective, I really like the flexibility of our balance sheet and our operational performance. We have all the pieces in place, from people to capital, to extend our strong record of growth and operational excellence. Now let's look over some numbers. Revenue for the quarter was $45.5 million, which is an increase of $14.5 million or 47% growth from $31 million for the same period last year. So the same quarter looking a year ago. And as I said, they had a net loss, meaning of course still unprofitable. They lost $14 million this quarter, which is compared to a net loss of $29 million for the same quarter 1 year ago. An EBITDA of $13.3 million compared to an adjusted EBITDA of $5.1 million in the same quarter a year ago. And as for sequential revenue, meaning quarter over quarter, they did see an increase, although it was relatively small, only $3 million from the last quarter. However, the net loss of $14.2 million for this quarter we just reported is a $4.3 million improvement over the last quarter, which was a loss of $18 million. They are tightening up that loss. Now, I did also want to show you that their total mining assets, which includes prepaid deposits and miners, they have $441 million. Their total assets of $652 million. This company right now is around a $700 million market cap. So they are trading at an extremely fair value right now, in my opinion. Now, I want to show you something. Their revenue was $45.5 million. That loss was $14.2 million. In the quarter coming up, the quarter we're in right now, they're expecting revenue of $58 million. And if you do the math, and if you were to just base their operating expenses, their R&D, all of those things, if those were just to be the same the quarter we're in as the quarter we just got reported, that would put them at a profitability if they do reach their revenue expectation coming up. And I'll shed a little more light on that in a second, but I do personally believe that if they can continue to be as efficient as they are, if they can mine more coin while not creating more and more expenses, because remember, all these miners are paid for, and as they increase their exahash and their revenue, their operation expenses shouldn't increase in the same light. Now let's look at something here. They reported $45 million in revenue. If they were to have sold all of their Bitcoin at $30,000, they would have reported $48.7 million in revenue, which would have got them even closer to being profitable. Now, what would have happened if they were to have sold this Bitcoin at $35,000? Well, they would have got really close to $57 million. Now, looking at it just based on this, of course, there are things that can change, R&D, maybe machines go offline in a big heat storm, maybe something happens to a facility, but just basing it off of this math, they should be profitable right around a $37,000 Bitcoin. So Bitcoin really doesn't have to move up all that much to start seeing Cleanspark reporting profitable quarters. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. You know, when Bitcoin starts pushing towards 40,000, Cleanspark will start reporting profitable quarters. And I think we only need Bitcoin right around $37,000, which really isn't all that far away. Now just imagine what they'll be doing throughout this bull run when they start reaching profitable quarters and Bitcoin's running up far past 40,000. They're going to be raking in the dough. And as I showed you guys a second ago, you know, if Bitcoin was at around 35,000, they would have nearly been profitable. They would have pulled in right around 57 million. And what's the revenue target for the quarter we're in? Well, that's 57 million. It's not certain to stay this way, but say their expenses were the same on the quarter they just reported as the quarter we're in, well, they should be right around profitability next quarter if they can hit this 57 million target, and if they don't somehow have more expenses. Because of course, as more miners go online, the energy bill goes higher, you might need more employees to run things. But let me know what you think. Do you guys think that this company will be profitable in the quarter we're in? I do think it's very close. I do think it's a very close call to say, you know, will they be profitable? I think we'll see somewhere around a $5 million loss this quarter. That's just a very rough ballpark estimate. So as Bitcoin goes up, as we approach the halving, they will start seeing profitable quarters, and throughout the majority of this bull run, they will be posting profitable quarters in my opinion. But that is very exciting that they're expecting another, you know, record-breaking quarter in terms of revenue. And I do think in time we will be well above pulling in 100 million in revenue per quarter. And to me, that's just insane when you think about, you know, only a couple years ago they were pulling in under $10 million, and soon, a couple quarters from now, they will be pulling in over 100 million. Now looking at the chart, things are still looking great to me. We are trading above the 50 moving average. We did come and test it coming up on the uncertainty of earnings. They gave pretty good numbers in my opinion and a pretty good future outlook. So this is rallying today, and it did bounce above the 50 MA. We're still looking at a bullish chart. The 50 MA is above the 200 MA, and they are trending upwards. And looking at the EMAs, we're still looking bullish there as well. The 50 is above the 100 and the 100 is above the 200. So hopefully we will continue seeing this upward momentum. But we are now back above that 520, which was a critical level for us to watch. This blue line that played out as support, I do think things are looking very good here. And I've been getting a lot of questions, you know, when things run up, you get questions in one direction. When things fall back, you get questions in another direction. People are asking, will this reach 4? Will this reach 3? I personally think the 3s are very unlikely. 4, you know, 5 is very possible. But having said that, you know, if you believe in the company long term, I still think it's a great time to buy. It's a great time to average in. You might want to wait for a little pull from a day like this when we're up like 20%, but don't let days like this keep you from buying, thinking that, oh, it's going to go back to 3, it's going to go back to 2, maybe it'll test 1. I personally think some of those buying opportunities are long behind us now, and to me, anytime that this dips is a clear buying opportunity. And we had all this time while the chart was bearish to just wait, to look for lower levels. Now that things are bullish, I would say it's time to buy the dips. But you always have to do your own research. I'm not your financial advisor. But things to me are looking great for Cleanspark, and I do expect this run to continue. But let me know what you guys think. Are you happy with the earnings they reported? Do you think they're going to reach profitability in this quarter we're in now? And throughout the coming halving, throughout the coming bull market for Bitcoin, do you think Cleanspark is going to consistently post profitable quarters? I do personally think that profitable quarters are right around the corner, and there is a glimpse of hope that we may even see that in this quarter, the future quarter being reported. But let me know your thoughts on that, and let me know what you got out of the earnings call. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll catch you a bit later.